In this episode, we'll talk about something that we have been hearing a lot. So many people have been asking us this question, is that how do you stay fit?
Being in a good shape definitely is highly related how you feel as a man, and your confidence is very much tied together on how you're also feeling about your physical body. You need to have time for yourself, and the only me time was gym and fitness.
Amazing. What about you, Neil? How do you have those 15 packs?
It becomes less about aesthetics and stuff. You just need to have a break and take some time for yourself and let some stuff out.
My body, my health is my priority, and you have to prioritize. I don't care because I know what is good for my body versus what tastes good.
That how everything in your body will actually be determined on the gut and how the balance is in your gut.
1 out of your 10 meals is something dirty. I think that is okay as long as you're not doing that consistently.
If you're sick for one day, all you think about is being better again, right? And that shows you the power.
Diet, recovery, your water intake, like if you just manage all of that, I think you will be in a very good physical state.
You should be able to afford getting your meals catered or something, there's so many services that do this. Like,
go with her for Pilates or yoga, whatever she does.
Hot yoga, baby, hot yoga.
Yes, hot yoga, do things that helps you build relationship. Amazing. Okay, so we are back with episode 7, and in this episode we'll talk about something that we have been hearing a lot, and so many people have been asking us this question, is that how do you stay fit with so much that is happening in your life? You have career, you have relationship, now these two guys have kids. So how do you juggle all of that and stay fit, take care of your physical health, eat the right things? So we will directly jump into it, and we will start first with Ali, then we go to Neil. Let's go.
I can speak about my personal experience because for me, fitness and just physical activity is not just to stay fit, but it's also to get aggression out of your body. So when you have had a kid that don't want to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, trust me, it's not a nice to have, it's a need to have. So you definitely need to make time for it. The way I've been doing it for long time is I actually did it from 11 to 12 p.m. So I was there when the alarm started ticking, but it was so important for me because otherwise I would not function and I would just have aggression sitting in my body. So that's how I did it. It was not a nice to have. I was forced to do it. Otherwise I would not function as a human. So very late evening.
Why was there aggression?
Sometimes when you have your work, your everyday, a lot of the responsibility, and most of the time when you're having a kid and knowing the phases the kid get through, for me, the biggest frustration was that you can sit next to a kid for 2 hours and you didn't really have any time for yourself. So the me time will be destroyed and you're just sitting there and I'm going responsibility on responsibility on responsibility. And that gives you a lot of frustration because you feel, I'm like, listen, there are no time for myself, which is why I'm always saying you need to have time for yourself. And the only me time was gym and fitness.
Amazing. What about you, Neil? How do you have those 15 packs?
So it's just genetics. So that's it. No, the thing is, one of the most important things when you become a parent is it becomes less about aesthetics and stuff. You just need to have a break and take some time for yourself and let some stuff out because it's not easy, as Ali said, right? And I know we touched on some things in the previous episode on parenting, but the reality is you need this. Your body needs to move. You have this machine, this biological machine that has gone through millions of years of evolution, and it needs to move. It needs to sweat. It needs to go to that point of exhaustion. And with our lives as parents and everything, or in general, if you have a career and stuff, is very demanding, right? We have a relationship, everything. But your body is not pushed in this way physically, things start breaking down. And for me, I go crazy after a couple of days if I don't have some movement or, even if it's just some pull-ups at the park, anything. But you need that. And I think as men, we have that in us. Women too, right? Like everyone, we're all human beings. But yeah, I think just building that into your routine, whatever it is, and it doesn't always have to be. Sometimes you just can't make it to the gym and stuff. You have those busy days, but if you just drop in knock out some push-ups, a couple rounds, 10 push-ups 5 times. There's 50 push-ups there easily, and you're going to get a good pump and sweating and moving, and get something out of your system that may be stuck in there, and that's just the movement element. Of course, you have to take care of your sleep, your nutrition, and everything. And with the baby, that's very hard, the sleep part, but you'll find a way, and your body learns to adapt. I was reading on the whole fatherhood thing and stuff before, and what happens to your hormones and everything, how the man starts gaining weight before the child is born to prepare him for the sleepless night so he can burn fat, if he has to stay up and all that. So your body is so intelligent, it can adapt, but you have to, of course, put the effort in. And there's the other elements like nutrition and stuff. And the way I work around that is I don't think too much about it, because I eat the same thing on repeat a lot of the time. So, for example, my breakfast is standard. I have sourdough bread, I have avocado, I have eggs. And that is my go-to breakfast. Like almost every single day, I will have eggs, whether it's boiled, whether it's poached, whether it's scrambled, so eggs and whatever around it, and then stick to the simple stuff in terms of food. I don't really eat too much fast food and stuff. And even if I eat out at restaurants, it's not crap food, it's not the stuff that is fried and everything. It most likely would be a steak or fish or something. So the best rule is for me, that works for me, is have your protein and whatever else on the side of it, and I don't have sweets too often. I try not to do it during the week, but maybe on a Friday, on the weekend, you go with your family, you want to have ice cream, all of these things. It's fine if you're putting in the work and stuff, like you're not going to think twice about it, right? So yeah, I think we don't need to go, super complex and into it. It's just sticking to the principles. The main thing is consistency. If you do 100 push-ups every day for 1 year, you would be surprised if you're not in shape at where you would be that time if you are consistent. So it's better to do that every single day than to go intense for 1 month and then you drop off and everything. So it comes down to that, like beating a dead horse, yeah, but consistency is everything, and developing that discipline. And a great hack for that is having people like us, we have each other, that we can hold each other accountable, right? So whoever you are, whoever you're around, do it together. It just makes the journey much more fun as well, rather than something that is a chore and something you have to do and all that. Make it enjoyable. I think when it comes to fitness and health and everything, taking care of yourself, there's so many things that can be an aspect of fun in a group environment when you're doing it together and challenging each other and everything.
Yeah, it's basically play if you have other people around you and you want to do
Exactly.
something together. Go on, Ali.
Very, very simple, because you told me how to stay fit after becoming a dad. That is by doing it before you become a dad.
That's a good one.
Seriously, honestly,
Yeah, yeah.
for
Yeah.
me, because I've been building, for example, my muscles and my physique for so many years. Even though I'm off gym for 1 or 2 months, the fact that I can just hit the gym one more time and my memory and my mindset is used to it, it's very easy to get in shape again. And like that's why I'm always saying, like, and I had a very good conversation with my dad the other day. I'm like, how to utilize your spare time or free time before you get busy.
Yeah.
Being a father or being in a relationship makes you very busy. So when you have your free time, which mean in your 20s and so on, please make sure to make it a habit. Like if your body is not moving in 2 or 3 days, it will die. You will make it, you will feel a tension and a tickling in your body. I'm like, I cannot sit down. If you have that one, honestly, I think you're in a very good hands for the rest of your life, because it becomes like a nature for you. And I think that one is very, very important. Start even before you become a dad, because it becomes very easy. And again, sometimes I can not hit the gym for 1 or 2 months, which is very, very messed up. But I know after 2 or 3 weeks, I'm in a very good shape again. And that's very, very important. But that started when I was 16 or 17, because I started to go to the gym that early, which is why it's just habit for me.
Yeah, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. Like for me, my body, my health is my priority, and you have to prioritize. You have to take out time. Like I've heard from so many people that they're like, it's hard to take time out, and at times it is, but at times, you are just also lazy. So you have to prioritize and make sure exactly what you said, Neil. You can do push-ups, you can do whatever kind of workout. You have whatever weights you have. you can still pull a really good workout at home, and you don't have to go out. Even if you spend 15 minutes on a hit circuit, that's enough for you for 2 days. Like I don't think you would need a lot more. But essentially, like for me, like what I am learning now is to prioritize sleep, and to make sure that I'm taking care of my body, I'm taking care of my nutrition, and I don't mind eating the same thing every single day. I don't care, because I know what is good for my body versus what tastes good. There is a difference in these two things. It can be one similar, but essentially, like, I differentiate what is required for my body versus the fried chickens and the fast food that people go for. um, and I do give myself that bandwidth to fail, because I don't think you have to be strict 100% of the times. I think if one out of your 10 meals is something dirty, I think that is okay, as long as you're not doing that consistently. And one of my biggest things and my biggest beliefs is that my if I have good physical health, I will have good mental health. And that is the nuance that I am hooked with, because as soon as I get up, the first thing that I do is work out. And that puts me in such a warrior state, like whatever that has to be done in that day gets done, because I wake up with doing the most difficult thing that I could with my body, that's lifting weights, and like, or walking or running or whatever. And I think if people can prioritize that, and just make sure they're eating right, they're sleeping well, because I think sleep is number one thing that people ignore. They are moving their body, and the fourth thing is gut. And I know a lot of people don't really talk about gut and gut health, but would love to hear your thoughts on what you guys think about gut health, and how do you take care of it.
One of the people who really opened my mind and understanding on the whole importance of gut was Dr. Dominic, who is like a lead in biodentistry, because we're working together on one of his courses. And I learned so much about it, that how everything in your body will actually be determined on the gut, and how the balance is in your gut, and how a lot of the diseases, the center of it will always be the gut. And if you can control that one, you can actually control a lot of the diseases and the mindset and the hormones and everything around it. And that was very, very big for me, which is also what I started to use a lot of his protocols, but that was also cutting gluten, cutting dairy, refined oils, and then also increasing your meat a lot, because that will definitely put you in a very strong state. I remember one of the things that was fascinating, and I really chapeau for Dr. Dome. Um, he broke, I think, either one of his joints, and he were able, like, doctor was like, listen, this will definitely take you 4 to 6 months to recover. I think in 1.5 months he was fully recovered, because
No
his body,
ways.
bro, his body was in so good condition that it could repair itself. Because most of the time people want to repair themselves when they get an injury,
Yeah.
whereas he was actually preventing it by already giving his body all of the nutritions. And of course, as you told me, the gut was in so much balance, and he had all of the things that he needed to be able to fix himself just like this. And I think that was a very big eye opener for me. And I have a rabbit that's almost killing itself down in the corner.
So do you actually not have gluten at all?
I reduce to my best ability. But honestly, again, I think that was very, very tough, because sometimes when you get into biodentistry, or no, sorry, not biodentistry, when you get into biohacking, speaking about it and how hard it is to have a family, and if you don't have a system around it, it will be very hard to implement it. You cannot, for example, have gluten, that you need to have a very high amount of protein in your family, refined oils, you need to have a lot of things, organics, and so on. And honestly, it becomes very, very, very tough for the average family. So me and Fatima went with it for quite some time. Did we feel much better? Definitely. Would I recommend it for anyone? Yes. However, you need to have a very, very, very high amount of discipline to be sticking around with it. Because when I'm in the canteen in my workspace, it's going to be very hard for me to just say no to gluten. Is it possible? Yes. But I see it is in there. I cannot just get my protein into a very, very high state, because if I need 2 gram protein for myself, that's actually a lot of protein. Like, I need to hit 140, not more, and even I think 150 every single day. And if you need to have it from proper sources, not just your protein powders, it's actually a lot. So I am a big fan of what you said. Just eat the same thing and again and again and again because it makes life way simpler. But again, when you have a kid, it's a different life, man.
So Neil, what do you think about gut health? Because a lot of the people just think that they will go work out and exercise and move, and that's enough. But there is this big notion about gut health these days, and everybody's talking about it. What is your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, so I would say one of the most important things that you can do, anyone, is get a food intolerance test, and this you can do at the doctor's office, right? And this would tell you exactly what type of foods you should not eat, and that is very important because a lot of people have issues, and they don't know where it's coming from, and it usually is can be pinpointed to their diet, right? So everyone depends on your genetic makeup, depends on your ancestors. All of these things can stomach certain foods and cannot stomach certain foods. So if you do this, this would give you a really good upper hand in terms of like what you consume and everything. Because the reality is, if you think about food as programming, as instructions for your body would take that instruction and do something with it. And it may be a negative reaction to that instruction, or negative programming, or positive, right? As in something that would build and give you nutrients and everything. So I know a lot of people personally, family, friends, and stuff, who have these things that they didn't know for years, suffered with crazy stuff, IBS and all of this kind of things. But just doing this test, they already know, oh shit, I can't eat apples, or I can't eat avocados, or I can't eat bread. And yeah, it may be painful, but if you don't eat it, you're going to feel great. And that's just the reality, right? So I think that is one of the most important things, because then you know uniquely for yourself what you can and cannot consume. Yeah.
Amazing. So my question is, if there is a man who is, putting in the hard work day in, day out, wakes up early, goes to work, comes back late, and is taking care of his family, is taking care of his relationship, and the only time he gets is like 9 to 10 to 10:30 p.m., where he just watches something and has his dinner. And we know that for him, health is not the best. So what should he start doing? Like, and of course, like, he can't drastically change his lifestyle. He will have to start slow and start small. What can he start doing today, and how should he progress?
I remember a couple of examples, especially from Mind Valley and Wild Fit, and how much it's actually been helping people. So let's take example of that one. The program was very much about how you develop a relationship or understanding of food, and what is working for you, what's not working for you. And I remember also Fazil, which was actually a very, very good example, because Fazil, by just cutting the soda or all the Coke that he was drinking, and by cutting rice, that he was actually cutting off 10 kilos of his weight. So where to start? I think instead of just jumping out and saying I'm going to be starting gym and so on, which is going to be an extra commitment, I think where you can start is definitely from your kitchen, and seeing what are you putting in your body, and how can I reduce or optimize that that's coming into my body. I think that would be a very, very good start, because most of the time, like 80% of better health will definitely be what nutrition am I putting into my body. And if you can optimize that one, that will be already a very, very, very big win. And you will see very quickly results in, I think, a couple of weeks. You already can see it on your face, even the glow on your face. The fat around your body will start to actually move away. And I would say start there. That would be a very good point.
Yeah, that's an amazing one, Ali. What about you, Neil?
Yeah, so I agree. Like for a very busy person, it may be hard to find that good food and stuff. So if you're working that much from morning till night, you should be able to afford getting your meals catered or something. Like there's so many services that do this. Like when I was in Argentina, I had someone delivering meals and stuff. But it depends on where you are and stuff. Like right now, my partner packs my meal. I'm leaving for work this morning, and I have kids of food, and it's good, healthy food. So she does it for me, and in this case, I make it work, right? And even if I have to get something, I would opt in for something healthy. And a lot of people would ask like, oh, what is healthy? Like, come on, you know what is healthy. If someone comes to you and asks you, what do you think is healthy food, you're going to be able to answer them. So we already know this, you know. So we know what is healthy and everything. And to go a step before what Ali recommended, which is the nutrition, is like always start with the sleep, right? Rafi says as well. Um, Make sure you're sleeping well. Don't be on your screens and stuff. Like even if you come home late, instead of watching, even if you come home late instead of watching TV and stuff, like you can, do something that is more winding down and would put you into that restful state, whether it's reading a book or something, which would be more beneficial. Of course, you would have those days where you just want to do something mindless. I do too sometimes, right? Watch a movie or something. I'm usually bad at finishing movies because I fall asleep. But it depends case by case. But yeah, sleep, the nutrition element, and
Mm.
then of course you want to have that movement in. Simple.
And if I add to this one, we spoke about how do you stay fit as a father. So I think again, this podcast is about pushing men forward, pushing dads forward, how to become a better dad, how to become a better man in your life. And I think when I'm looking at that, I mentioned, I think, in the other podcast, how you are setting an example for your kid. And again, we spoke about fatherhood, and Neil, Rafi, and Neil, you said it actually, both of you, that you are setting an example for your kid. And again, I'm always saying, and I remember that one from Conscious Parenting and Dr. Shafali, when she said, conscious parenting about if you want to have something in your kid, you need to have it yourself. And for me, if you want to see your kids in a good shape, which I think it's one of the most valuable things, man, I don't want to have my kid to be sick all of his life and just influenza in, influenza out, overweight, and so on. I'm like, he will take you as an example. And if he's seeing his dad in a good shape, it's 99% sure that the kid is also going to be in a good shape. And for me, that's a very big motivation. I'm getting there. I'm like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing also this one for my kid because I'm definitely setting an example that he's going to be building on. And if you have a good health, honestly, it's the foundation of a lot of things. You can have your money, you can have everything else. But if you don't have your health in shape, or in a good condition, all of the other things will be meaningless. So I feel this is actually a very good gift that I'm giving him to set that example for Gabriel and whatever is going to come after that.
Yeah. I mean, prioritize health, like if you're being able to play with your kid, and physically be able to do that, I think that is the biggest gift. And health is the base of everything, as a lot of the people say, your oxygen mask first and your health is your oxygen mask. So how do you take care of your body? How do you take care of your recovery? If you are not moving that much, can you actually take, sorry, my cat is just trying to jump up. No,
It's the alpha cat back again.
it's the alpha cat. No. So I think, essentially diet, recovery, your water intake, like if you just manage all of that, I think you will be in a very good physical state, and that will help you to be in a very good mental state too. And with that being said, I think we can end this podcast. Any last words from Ali or Neil?
Yeah, you made the point, right? It's the base of everything, and that's super important to remember. Like, no matter what you want to accomplish, if you have good health, that would be the vehicle to that. Think about if you're sick for one day, all you think about is being better again, right? And that shows you the power. You can have all the money in the world, and if you're sick, you would spend all that money just to be healthy. So that is the power of health, and we don't see it or we don't feel it until it's too late usually. This is from a lot of my family, people around me, and I see it. I've seen it since I've been a kid, and that's why I take it so seriously, because I know, like, once you lose your health and you get to a state that is so bad, like, there's nothing you can do. No amount of money can save you. So really think about it from that perspective. It's not just, having a six pack and all of this kind of stuff. It's just waking up and getting to experience life and do what the fuck you want to do every single day, without having to have limitations.
Absolutely.
Can
Ali.
can can we can we just acknowledge that I didn't say the F word in an entire podcast?
Yes, I acknowledge that.
I made it slip.
I'm sorry, guys, but dude, I'm so proud of myself. I'm like, I'm gonna be running out
So
and saying I
halal,
didn't say that F
Ali.
word today. Last thing from my side, no, but it's as we already said, prioritizing health because it will be the foundation of a lot of the other life areas, and being, I think being in a good shape definitely is highly related how you feel as a man, and your confidence is very much tied together on how you're also feeling about your physical body. I think that's one thing. Another recommendation that I would definitely give is if someone is busy and so on, because two things, when life becomes very busy, there are two things that you compromise on: your health and also your social space. I've always saying like go to anything like CrossFit or any team activities because you really get both of them. You get the social aspect, which a lot of, for example, fathers and parents are lacking, but on the other side, you also get the physical part, and it's always way easier when something becomes fun. Because honestly, gym, if you start later in your life, it's not the most fun thing, especially when you want to do it on your own, unless you have the money to hire a personal trainer. If you don't, I would strongly recommend find a team sport, because once you have that one, you definitely also start to be more committed to it,
Yeah.
and that will push you forward. So, highly recommend it. If you don't love going to the gym by yourself, start a team sport, and trust me, if you start to get hooked to it, you will see yourself coming there every single week because it's the social aspect, not just the physical aspect, that get you there. So you hit two things
Absolutely.
in one stone.
Yeah, and I think you can also do another thing where you can just work out with your partner. Go with her for Pilates or
Oh, that's
yoga,
amazing.
whatever she does.
Hot yoga, baby, hot yoga.
Yes, hot yoga, like do things that helps you build relationship. You can have a good connection time with her. It's a play time. You
That is
can you
actually
can
Yeah,
a very, very good idea.
I think
Support it.
definitely. I think if you can take that time out, twice or thrice a week, I think that's enough. You don't have to overdo it. I don't think you have to work out 7 days a week. Even if you can take out 2 3 days, I think that's more than enough. That's more than possibly 90% of the population that is active.
exactly.
All right.
Boom.
Lovely. Guys, any questions you have, feel free to post that in the comments below. With that being said, we will end the podcast here. Ali has a point. All of a sudden, please go on.
Because moving forward, what we're going to be doing is something very interesting where we're going to actually be taking people in and we're going to
Mm.
support them on this spot. And trust me, I would have signed up for that one because you're going to get these three bros, Rafe, Neil, and myself, where we're actually going in and just giving like on the spot advice on how you can improve your life and push your life forward as a man. So,
Yeah,
Highland Curse, it's coming. It's coming.
it's
So
coming
stay tuned for
in
that one.
production. It's
Someone
in
had to say it
instructions.
because I'm damn excited for that one. And no F word, man. Only falafel in here, man. Boom.
All right, guys. Thank you.